doing? If you don't even know who I am, hi, nice to meet you. My name's Nikki. Yes, Nikki, like short for Nicole. Nikki, last name Dawson, like Dawson's Creek. I'm on a binge of just doing nostalgic reactions. I'm going into the recesses of my mind, y'all, and just pulling up some really classic films that really hit home for me. The film that came to mind that I think I should start off with for this whole thing, for a nostalgic reaction, is this film, Drag Me to Hell. I'm not saying that literally that's the name of the film. We don't claim that. We don't claim that, all right? When did this movie come out? Drag Me to Hell. It came out in 2009. All right, here we go. Can't be doing that. Out here thieving. There's consequences. Ooh, not the fly coming out the jewelry. Girl, keep on. Oh my gosh. Run. Run, little boy. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. I mean, hey, it's over. It's done, you know. Oh, he's alive still. Oh. Oh, well. Ooh. Run. Oh, no. I had to take this off. Oh, my gosh. 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 Oh, that scream. Oh, my goodness. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have these headphones because I didn't find myself to be that jumpy, but this music. Whew. This is a Rami Brother production. Woo! Now we're in modern day. They set us up real nice where bitch Christine works at the bank. She's doing her thing, handling the clientele, everything's good. I remember she really wanted to take herself to the next level in the company by getting the new managerial position. You see her we get a feel for the cast, which is like her boss. I really don't know his name, but we're gonna call him annoying coworker, right? She's chilling at work. We get established with the dynamic where the boss is kind of like, you know, you are showing some good stuff, but the new dude, he coming up here shaking up some things, and you know, he also aiming for that position. So I gotta consider. Which pause, I just want to say, how do you know that he manages a team well? You get what I'm saying? Just because he new and doing something different doesn't mean he know how to manage. But that's enough aside. Anyways, we move forward and get introduced to Christine's boyfriend, which is Justin Long. Justin's character is called Clay, but I'm not going to call him Clay because every time I see him, I'm going to call him Justin or just Justin Long. He's doing business stuff too. I don't know if he's like a lawyer or not a lawyer. He does something with a whole bunch of paperwork and he's in an office, right? They give us a little moment to show the dynamic between them two. Cute, cute, cute. But Justin's parents, more particularly his mother, is not approving of Christine, which was just, she had no reason. It was just like because Christine didn't have a higher status or whatever.
Mother, I don't want to. You can't be playing around with little girls all the farm.
So basically, Christine is like feeling the pressure now to be like, dang, I really need to step it up and I really need to do what I got to do to get that managerial position. So she's going to placate to her boss's discretion, which plays into the next part. She gets back to work just kind of in a daze because she is so shaken up by what Justin Long's mama had to say, right? And so she chilling there. All of a sudden, we are bringing in the conflict. Oh, the nail.
Will you help me?
Thing. I just love that intro. Miss Ganush. Please forgive me. I'm not saying this name right.
Ganush.
So she started off real nice and weepy. And so she's like, oh my gosh, they about to take my house. And I was like, oh dang, that's like, I'm feeling for her for a second. And then when I hear Christine's like, hey, you've had 2 extensions, ma'am. I'm not sure if the bank is going to give you a 3rd extension on you not paying your bills, right? This is life. Christine goes in the back to talk to her boss. The boss is like, hey, that is not in our best interest, but you do what's best. And he kind of gave her this look like, It's up to you.
Your call.
You do what you think is best. It was like this tension that you basically were telling her you could do what you want to do, but if you say you want this role, I'm gonna need you to move like this. Just like that. So Christine, with, you know, all this communication silently happening, she knew the assignment and she went to that desk and told Miss Garnish, told her, hey, we will not be able to comply and extend you another extension. All hell broke loose. Like, no pun intended. That lady lost her mind. You fell on your knees and started begging. Christine was like, please, ma'am, please get up. Please stop.
Be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up.
And so the baby felt embarrassed. That's not Christine's fault, in my opinion. It's like your desperation put you in that position, and you're mad because Christine couldn't comply with your desperation. So to me, it just shows Miss Garnish has a really weird relationship with accountability. That's my take on this. I don't know this lady's life.
Miss Garnish.
But clearly she has some anger management issues because she explodes on Christine into the space. And then, you know, everybody in the office is like, whoa, you know, basically you got Garnish being like, it's on site. They escorting her out. And you want to know the cutest little part, side note, in that scene, tell me if y'all saw our queen, Octavia Spencer, in the background, y'all. She is one of her co-workers. If you don't know Octavia, she's in Mama, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, staying on topic here. Christine had a rough day, and then the boss was like, man, that was kind of crazy. You all right? She's like, I'm straight. So she goes to the garage at night. She's like, man, that was a wild day. Let me get home or whatever. And as she's walking in the garage, she sees the old lady's car because she got a view of it as they escorted her out of the bank earlier that day. So this old lady straight up waited for hours for her to come. Still don't find this realistic to me, because it's like, how did she know that was the employee parking garage? You know, these are important questions. How did she not know she didn't miss her? I'm gonna let it ride. We're gonna let it ride. We're gonna ride out. And so, come to find out, they jump scare me through this whole scene. My nerves is bad. Old lady in the back seat, like, she just comes to the handkerchief. It did, craziness. She's in the back seat. She's trying to choke Christine out. Christine's battling with Miss Garnish. They throwing down in this car. They fighting literally for their lives. Christine was getting creative with a stapler, using the acceleration and braking and things. It was a lot of, I will say it was a lot. Things were flying out of people's more specific dentures, because I felt like that sounded weirder if I left it open-ended. Dentures were flying, things were just going crazy. Windows were shattering. People's cars that were just parking there for just being a normal person, they came to their cars destroyed the next day. I feel bad for them. Christine get toe up. She thought she had the upper hand. She got a little cocky, started being like, I got you, old.
I bet you,
I was like, Christine. Now the lady crazy, but Christine. And of course, that old lady showed her what was up and did the boopity boppity boop. Like her, I don't know if that's the same ancestors from the prior, but this squad in this movie, the gypsies, they got the bippity boppity boop on you. And to me, I felt like Christine could have got out of this situation. If I get away from, I'm not going to sit here and wait for this like elderly lady to smash my window open and drag me out the car and take something off me. We're not going to allow any of that to get that far. But somehow Christine does. And I just remember like the ladies like speaking her, spell over her. And I just remember I like to plug my ears. I'm one of the people, if I watch a movie about any spiritual exorcism spell and all that, I don't want to hear none of that mess, because you know how Hollywood get. They get a little tricky with you. It definitely was, she put something on her. So, and Christine, her boyfriend, Justin Long, he comes through. He's like, babe, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. We're going to be all right. They roaming through the city. I guess he was taking her home. She ends up feeling like the wind blow, or like her intuition or the goosebumps on her rises. And she's like, I need to go into this tarot card place. So she goes to this tarot card place, which is where she meets Ramhas. Ramhas. Ramhas was the funniest character, because keep in mind, this is a horror comedy. And to me, he was, I love how Justin Long was skeptic of him, and he's kind of like, you could be a skeptic, but run me that coin. But eventually he does talk to Christine, touches her, and he sees some craziness, and he's like, you know what, take the money back. Christine's like, excuse me, what did you see? And he was like, it's all good, take the money. It was weird. Anyways, she was like, no, please keep it. He ended up keeping that money. Good on you, Rom. Good on you. So Christine knows something's off. Justin ain't believing nothing. He's like, this is a nonsense. Let me take you home, get you a hot bath, girl. I love you. Tuck you in, we good. So she gets to the crib. We get to see her spot. Super cute spot. Very, very, very gives me 1940s type style. I don't know how old the house is. Architecture just gives vintage in it. I love it. Anyway, so she's home, chilling. Over time, this entity is going to continue to spook her. Throughout this time, she's at home. She sees shadows moving, doors flying open. She then begins to get thrown around. She doesn't know what's happening. And she ends up calling her boyfriend, Justin Long, back over. And Justin's like, where's the lady? Let's call the police. And she's like, I'm trying to tell you, I cannot physically see what is tearing me up in my own house. Because they're not believers. This is one thing I will say. They don't believe in nothing because you didn't have no type of, it took you too long to catch on to the spiritual warfare that was happening in your home. So basically Justin's like, I really don't know. Like, Christine looked kind of crazy because she's trying to tell him, you can't really see it, but whatever this is, it's tearing me up.
Holla.
So she ends up going back to Rom. It was like, Rom, I need you to help me because I believe something's going on with me. So Rom basically he does his little research and he's like, girl, you are being haunted by the Lami. And she's like, the Lami? And he was like, yes, you're being haunted by the Lami, which is a tormentor. And basically he gives her a timeline on how he operates. So the Lami basically will torment her for 3 days before dragging her to hell. That's what Lami does. She realized in like 3 days, that was just a day ago. I just told, so I'm back 2 days. Only got a little time window, you know what I'm saying? This movie only happens in so long. So she's stressing out because she's like, what do I have to do? And so Rom decides to be like, hey, you got to make an innocent sacrifice of something to offer the beast, the entity, I don't know. Is Rami a demon?
Damon.
It is. Rami's a demon. So offer the demon a sacrifice of something innocent, a blood sacrifice, so the demon will leave her alone or whatever. And so like, she's like, oh my gosh. And he's like, it has to be something you care about and love. I was floored. I was like, Christine, not the freaking kitty, not the kitty. It gets to the point where, she was like, I won't do it. I can't do it. She didn't want to do it for a little bit. That demon Lami kept coming and tearing her up in different ways, kept playing with her. It's invasive. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. They did their job. Christine's energy is shifting, y'all. She's going from the sweet countryside girl that raised on the farm, that worked really hard to transform herself into the image she is today. Everything's getting crazy enough that she's like, let me just go to the lady's house and try to make amends because I think she, now that Rom has told her that she put the Lami on her, the granddaughter or the daughter, I don't even know. She maybe is the daughter, granddaughter. I don't remember. You guys correct me. Zero cares given. And it got to that point where bomb drops, she gone. We're dealing with Miss Ganush, the person that could take the curse off you. It's out the game. Let's not even worry about the corpse deciding to, she's all like, oh my gosh, she's gone. I'm freaking out. And then all of a sudden the corpse get on her and just goes, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of bodily fluids happening in this movie. Whether it was necessary or not, that is not up for debate. I'm here to just give you the cliff notes. But it was a lot. My stomach was turning a lot. I got nauseous seeing a lot of things. So clearly, after getting the suggestion of making the sacrifices, she's like, oh my gosh, I sacrificed the kitty. She still got towed up. When I saw the sacrifice of the kitty and it was not suffice, why would a kitten be suffice for a big old demon like Lami, an old demon like Lami? That's not enough. Anyway, Justin Long's like, hey babe, let's go meet my parents. Cause we've been going steady for a while and I think we're getting serious, which I feel like is a terrible call on Justin Long's part. It's like, bro, she just went through a traumatic experience. You think now is the time to bring her, and he makes it seem like, oh, we can go relax and do an oasis on a separate occasion and not in your parents' face. So they go over to the parents' crib. She's feeling better because she's like, I did the hardest thing ever. I had to kill my boo, my little kitty. I haven't had any disturbances from the demon Lami. So I think we're Gucci. Obviously, Christine was wrong because she gets to the crib. She gets to the house. She brings a dump cake. I think it's called a dump cake. I can't remember. She brings this cake. And she talks about farm life and how organic and natural. And the mom is actually trying to be cordial and open once Christine gives a vulnerable moment at the dinner table about her dealing with alcoholism from her parent. And so it was a good human moment. And you wanted to root for Christine because they're finally having a moment and you're like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. She just needed a break. I'm so glad they see her for the cool person she really is. And as she's cutting into her piece of that cake, the craziness of the eyeball, the whole scene was just ridiculous. Like, it was disturbing, but at the same time, I was very upset. I was screaming at Christine the whole time watching this, because it's kind of like, if I knew I was having disturbances by a demon, and I'm gambling here thinking that it's done, but it might not be done, and I'm going to go see this guy I'm in love with's parents. If I see an eyeball at the table, I would excuse myself from the table. Why didn't you excuse yourself from the table, Christine? So Christine sits there and tries to act normal, but she can't.
Would you, Christine?
Going full Tim Burton in that mug on that table. And just at a moment with all the noises, she embarrasses herself and screams out, stop talking to me, whatever she says. She's like, please stop.
I hear you!
And then everybody at the table like, who is she talking to? So it's a wrap with the parents. It's a done deal because you couldn't be patient. You rushing stuff, now they think you're crazy. It's a done deal. And so basically she's like, oh man, this is just ruining my entire life. She's just dealing with so much crap, dealing with the demon hunting her down and telling her she about to go to hell in a couple days. At this point, Christine has her back against the wall, and she is just in a position where she needs to figure out how to get this demon to leave her alone. So we fast forward to the point where she finally meets the lovely lady that we met from the beginning of the film. I don't know her name, but this lady, she was the one that's like, we will meet again. The we will meet again lady is like, oh my goodness, I've seen this energy before. Rom basically knew her as well, mutually linked them up. They had a whatever ritual thing to basically, from what I remember and understood, they're going to transfer the spirit of Lami into a goat and entrap him so he cannot run around amok and mess around and tear up Christine's any more of her life. Of course, it doesn't go as planned. Somebody dropped, I don't know who fumbled. I can't remember. Somebody fumbled. The team fumbled, and the helper ends up getting taken over, and he starts Kurt walking on the table. Iconically, I just remember he was Kurt walking on the table and being like, nana, nana, boo, boo, y'all playing sucks. And I feel bad for home dude. Eventually, when they were trying to transfer Lami out of that dude, it seemed like it was very painful. It seemed very unpleasant. And he was just here to help out, and somehow he got roped in way further than he needed to. Homegirl ends up, giving all her energy, battling Lami and trying to get him into the goat. It folded. That was her last resort. And then all of a sudden, Rom decides to be like, oh, well, there is another option, which I kept getting pissed. Rom, she came to you two days ago, and you let her go kill her little kitty when we could have done the goat situation without fouling on the kitty. Then we could have also did another option, you're telling me. And this option is just return the button to the gypsy lady, Miss Garnish. Why wouldn't you say that first? It still blows my mind why he would not say it. I don't know. To me, it was not efficient with his assistance in that regard. Christine's on her own. Christine is out here battling the demonic spirit of Lami and the shenanigans. As she realizes she needs to return the button that was cursed back to Miss Garnish, she's about to dig up this woman's remains, which is insane, right? Beautiful, cute Christine, sweetie pie, is now almost grave robbing. You get what I'm saying? She's out here digging it up, doing the work, and she does this most dramatic send off of giving back this button, right? And to me, it just seemed, girl, go ahead and give it and be like, here you go, catch you later. Boom. In and out, let's go. Not Christine. She wanted to create dramatics for, I don't know, the weather wasn't even accommodating for the dramatic behavior. It starts to flood. She trying to crawl out the hole while you was chatting and doing this whole talking, all this noise. You should have been getting out, Christine. She decides to get out at the last minute to the point where the water is flooding and she cannot grasp the edges of the wall, and she fumbles and falls where Miss Garnish is. And somehow the water pressure unlocks this heavy casket, and Miss Garnish's remains have become to be a nuisance again in the afterlife. And she's like, blah! Thank you, movie. Plot devices happening correctly. Christine gets hit in the head. She's passed out. And then all of a sudden it's a fake out because you're like, oh, well, done. It's done. The film's done. Psych. They're like, whoops. gotcha. And Christine's like, she does this crazy big gasp, and she gets out of the water, and you're like, oh my gosh, she made it. She accomplished the thing, and she survived. That's cool. But Christine was like, I did that. I worked hard and I did that. So the next day we're at the, few couple minute mark. So I was like, okay, the movie's about over, and Christine made it. And so she's heading to the train station to meet Justin because he invited her on some trip. I don't remember when they discussed this. Maybe they did earlier. Who cares, right? Justin's waiting at the, train docking station thing, and he's all like opens up the little jewelry box, and it's a ring. And it's like, to me, can we just pause and say that Christine has done the most. Not that the tragic thing happened of being like harassed at work and assaulted. It's more of the fact that like Christine has shown signs of just issues and has been running around, and just like from being haunted by Lamy, the fact that Justin Long was still like, you the one. I just want to say, I just shipped this imaginary relationship so hard, because my goodness, that is a loyal man. That is a loyal man that we all need. We need somebody loyal like that in our lives when we're being haunted by a demon that's dragging us places we don't want to go.
Okay.
Thank you, Justin Long's character. Everything's turned around. And she said, you know what, to celebrate this turnaround, I defeated Miss Ganesh. I got the promotion. Things obviously are looking up. I'm going to get a new coat because new beginnings, right? So she gets a new coat. She's looking fierce, fabulous, just walking through, almost like a Stepford wife, but not really. But it was so cute. And, you're happy for them. You're just happy that finally a character took matters into their hands and tried to work their way out of despair in a horror film. I liked it, vibed with it. And she's just like, I need to confess. Because she's such a sweetheart still, because she went through a lot. But she's like, you know what? I really could have gave Miss Ganesh an extension, and I chose not to advance myself. She cleansed her soul and told the truth. And Justin was like, that's all right, boo. You still my one. He was riding regardless. So they have that good powwow moment. She feels uplifted. It's so beautiful and praised. And as the train is coming, all of a sudden there is this moment where Justin goes, hey, boo, guess what I found in the car in the envelope? Your button from your jacket that you ended up, losing. And the strange thing is that now we're realizing, OMG, the envelope that Christine gave into the grave and did that whole showdown for was the coin that we saw earlier in the film, gifted it to him, but he also put it in a similar envelope. So it was like a switcheroo thing. And so she never got to gift back the button, which in my mind, even if I don't believe in all of this like spirituality stuff as, Justin Long's character, if he knew that his girl was kind of believing this and she was trying to have that mission, why would you not call her to be like, hey, I have that button? Like, you just held on to it and you knew that button was scary. Why would you give her a button that an old lady stole off of her that tried to assault her? Why would you give her that? Why would you smile and think that she would want that? That's the part that gets me. So he pulls it out. Christine's like, oh, but just like, hey, come here. You about to run off the train tracks. Baby definitely came off them train tracks. And then you think that you've already hit 100. And then they decide to say, no, baby, double it. Another one. 200. It takes it to 200. Literally, as he's freaking out thinking the train's going to run over his, the love of his life, Justin Long witnesses Christine getting consumed from the ground. A demonic hand, everything opens up and it's flames, and a hand comes in and all these hands are grabbing Christine and dragging her down into the ground. That thing terrified me. I will never forget. That is iconically creepy and terrifying and so sad that I remember from this movie. It stayed with me because we thought we were getting that happy ending, right? We know in horror movies it's hard to have a happy ending sometimes, right? But the way they did us, they did us so dirty. It was such a quick turnaround. And of course, Justin, poosh, he's in shock because Christine is gone. She has been consumed by the earth, but not by the earth, by the underground. Technically, I guess the core of the earth, because it was like molten lava where you could see the flames and things. Yeah, that's that. And it just ends. It's just Justin looking, the flame. You see the flames in his eyes. It was a nice touch. And then it just disappears because Christine disappears. My thing, though, is nobody else saw this happening. All these people on the train track, nobody's like, what the heck? Nobody, nothing. Justin is just saw the nonsense, and now he realizes that he didn't even believe his girlfriend the whole time. that is Drag Me to Hell, possibly Cliff Notes style version. I love the nuances of the characters. Obviously, everyone did a phenomenal job. The chick that plays Christine, Alison Lohman, you did your thing, girl. I also looked into Alison Lohman and found out that she is no longer acting. Drag Me to Hell was her last film. We got the story. I really enjoyed the dilemma that was presented by Sam Rami. Thank you, Sam. Sam introduced such a cute dilemma that is kind of like, if you have an opportunity to advance and you have to step on someone else's back to get there, would you do it? You have a character that seems decent and they're not terrible, and they make maybe an unfavorable decision, and how that one unfavorable decision could dismantle their entire lives and condemn them to hell. Crazy, right? So I'll say that it's scary from an objective point, but not like from a point that like I can't sleep at night. So I don't know what ranking that means, but whatever. Last but not least, nostalgic. Like, the nostalgia on this bad boy, it just was super heavy, just basically for me, really more of Justin Long being in it. And it just gives early 2000s, it gives it. So I think that Drag Me to Hell is one of those horror comedies that if you are into the scary, spooky, ooky, give it a watch. It doesn't have terrible ratings. It's a decent film if you're into that. And I hope that you guys enjoyed just a little bit of a breakdown of this spectacular, interesting film. It is PG-13, so the kiddies, if depending on what you like, you can watch it. It's one of those stories that it don't have a happy ending. It doesn't. It's we could call it a melancholic film. And if you like watching things like that, then feel free to check out Drag Me to Hell. Should be able to stream it on YouTube right here, or rent it or purchase it for your own liking and watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed your time with me as I have talked my head off and remembered this crazy behind film. And I also hope that you guys come back for more. Please feel free to like, subscribe if you want to. It's okay if you don't, but I would love it if you do. And I'll be back with more films, more topics to chat about within Nostalgic Reaction. Hope to see you guys again. Stay awesome. Stay hydrated. Catch you guys later. Bye.